I want you to close your eyes for a second. Well, obviously keep them open if you're driving or operating heavy machinery.
Yeah, please stay safe out there.
Right, exactly. But I want you to mentally conjure up a standard Western convenience store or like a gas station off the interstate. You know the exact vibe I'm talking
Oh,
about.
I absolutely know the vibe. It's usually this slightly sad, aggressively neon-lit room. The windows might even have bars on them.
Yeah, and the air always smells faintly of, like, industrial floor cleaner mixed with stale coffee that's been burning on a hot plate since dawn.
And let's be honest about the food options in that environment. I mean, they are essentially a monument to compromised decisions.
That is the perfect way to put it. You walk in, and you are immediately confronted with this rotating carousel of regret.
Oh, the heat lamp food.
Yes, those shriveled hot dogs that have been spinning under a heat lamp since, Tuesday. Plus the giant sugary fountain drinks and those packaged pastries wrapped in cellophane.
The ones that somehow possess a shelf life of 6 to 8 months.
Exactly. In the West, a convenience store is an emergency pit stop. It is the place you pull into when you are on a road trip, your blood sugar is completely crashing, and you have absolutely no other choice.
Right. It is a desperate refuel. It's definitely not a dining destination.
No, not at all. It's purely functional. And that function is almost entirely built around sugar, salt, and immediate, highly processed calorie loading, just to keep you awake behind the wheel.
So true.
But now I want to completely shatter that mental image and transport you across the world. Imagine stepping into a gleaming, impeccably clean, brightly lit konbini.
A Japanese convenience store.
Exactly. You walk through those pristine sliding glass doors, the little electronic entry chime plays that iconic melody, and you're faced with a staggering reality.
It really is a shock to the system the first time you see it.
It's wild. You are looking at perfectly crisp vegetable salads, meticulously calculated macro-friendly meals, and fresh protein options, stuff that legitimately rivals the quality of a sit-down restaurant.
It is a complete paradigm shift in how retail food operates.
It really is.
And for you, our listener, maybe you're a health-conscious traveler, like a woman in her 20s or 30s, and you are currently prepping for this epic bucket list adventure to Tokyo, Kyoto, or Osaka.
Yes, preparing for all those amazing sights.
This paradigm shift isn't just a neat cultural quirk. It is going to be your absolute lifeline.
Welcome to today's deep dive. We have a massive, fascinating mission today. We're building the ultimate survival guide for the health-conscious traveler in Japan.
And we aren't just giving you a list of snacks either.
No, we've compiled a massive stack of research. I'm talking everything from highly guarded supply chain logistics reports from 7-Eleven Japan to clinical nutritional data from the Japanese Lokabo movement.
We even looked into deep dive consumer psychology studies.
Right. We're going to explore exactly why Japan's convenience stores are a nutritional goldmine. We'll break down the absolute must-buy items to hit your macros, too.
And finally, we're going to build you a flawless, low-calorie, high-protein, one-day Konbini menu.
So you can get those gains, keep your energy up for those exhausting 20,000-step travel days, and, avoid the hidden traps.
Because there are traps. But to truly understand how you can eat an incredibly healthy, fresh meal out of a convenience store in Japan, we first have to fundamentally rewire how we think about retail infrastructure.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the reason the food is so good isn't just that they use better chicken or fresher lettuce. It's because the physical DNA of the store is entirely different from what we know in the West.
Wait, hold on. What does the physical DNA of a building have to do with whether my chicken salad is soggy or fresh?
It's a fair question.
I mean, when I think convenience store sandwich, my brain immediately screams wet bread and questionable deli meat. How does architecture fix that?
Well, it's not just the architecture of the building, it's the architecture of the entire city. The core difference lies in pedestrian versus highway infrastructure.
Okay, I'm tracking with you.
Think about the American model. Convenience stores were built for cars. They're anchored to massive highways, sprawling suburban intersections, and gas stations.
Right. You pull your car off the road, grab fuel for your engine, and then grab highly processed, shelf-stable fuel for your body.
Exactly. The entire business model relies on transient traffic, people who are just passing through.
So they can sell you a terrible 6-month-old pastry because they know you're driving to another state. You aren't going to come back tomorrow to complain.
Precisely. You are a captive audience in transit. But Japan's konbini were built for pedestrians.
That makes a huge difference.
It really does. Japan's post-war economic boom prioritized incredibly dense urban centers connected by vast, hyper-efficient railway networks. The convenience stores evolved to be woven directly into the fabric of daily life.
They're just everywhere.
Right. They are embedded inside residential neighborhoods, literally inside train station terminals, and on the ground floors of massive corporate office buildings.
So they aren't a destination you drive to. They are a waypoint you walk past 3, maybe 4 times a day.
Exactly. And the density statistics we pulled from the research stack are absolutely mind-blowing. They paint this picture perfectly.
I was looking at those numbers. In the U.S., there are about 0.25 convenience stores per 1,000 hectares of habitable land. So we're talking a quarter of a single store for a massive, sprawling plot of land.
And in Japan,
There are 4.91 stores per 1,000 hectares.
that is nearly 20 times the density.
20 times. I mean, there are over 58,000 convenience store locations nationwide.
It's staggering.
If you are walking down a street in a major hub like Shinjuku or Shibuya in Tokyo, you can stand on one street corner and physically see a 7-Eleven, a Family Mart, and a Lawson all within a 2-minute walk of each other.
And that density completely changes the economic incentive. Because they are embedded in these hyper-local pedestrian areas, the stores absolutely cannot rely on shelf-stable junk.
Because the customers aren't just driving away.
Right. The people walking in aren't random drivers. They are the people who live in the apartment upstairs. They are the office workers from the high-rise next door.
That makes so much sense. If a Lawson sells a local resident a bad, stale sandwich on a Tuesday, that resident has 3 other competitors they can literally walk to on Wednesday.
And the store will go out of business. They have to win your loyalty every single day with absolute freshness.
Okay, that makes total logical sense from a business perspective, but I'm kind of stuck on the physics of it.
How so?
Well, fresh food rots. That's just biology.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason American stores pump their food full of chemical preservatives.
It is a massive logistical hurdle, for sure.
Right. So if you have a store on literally every corner, how on earth are they physically moving fresh produce and fresh meat onto the shelves fast enough before it spoils?
This is where we get into the marvel of Japanese logistics, specifically a system they call the cold chain, and their absolute reliance on predictive artificial intelligence.
AI for convenience store food.
Really? Oh, yeah. The major chains like 7-Eleven, Lawson, and Family Mart did something revolutionary decades ago.
Yeah.
They realized the American supply model that getting a massive delivery truck once or twice a week just wouldn't work.
So what did they do?
They decentralized. They built a massive web of centralized kitchens strategically located just outside these urban centers, and they restock the fresh food at every single store up to 3 times a day.
Wait, 3 times a day?
Yep.
So they're getting breakfast delivered, lunch delivered, and dinner delivered freshly made.
Exactly. And the supply chain isn't really a delivery route in the traditional sense. It's much more like a city's circulatory system.
Oh, I like that analogy.
The centralized kitchens are the heart, pumping out fresh food, and the AI is the brain. They use highly advanced AI-driven inventory management to predict exactly what a specific neighborhood will buy on a specific day down to the hour.
Wait, how granular is this AI? Is it just looking at what sold yesterday?
It's pulling in massive amounts of data, actually. It looks at historical sales, yes, but it also monitors real-time weather forecasts, humidity levels, and even local events.
Humidity levels, that is intense.
Right. If the AI predicts a sudden, unexpected drop in temperature and a rainstorm hitting a specific district of Tokyo at, say, 2 p.m., it reacts.
What does it do?
It will immediately signal the centralized kitchen to ramp up production of hot oden, which is a traditional comforting simmered dish, and warm pork buns.
Cool.
Simultaneously, it will reduce the order for cold pasta salads. It pumps the exact right cells through the arteries to exactly where the body needs them right at that moment.
And the quality control at the very end of that process is borderline ruthless. We're this detail in our supply chain sources. It just stopped me in my tracks.
The barcode thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say you walk into a Konbini. You pick up a fresh item, say a beautiful egg salad sandwich or a salmon bento box. You walk to the register to pay.
When you scan it.
Right, but if that specific item is even 1 minute past its highly strict, mathematically calculated freshness window, the barcode literally will not scan.
It's completely locked out of the system.
The register locks up. The cashier will apologize, physically take the food out of your hands, and refuse to sell it to you.
It's true. They prioritize brand trust and rigorous quality control over capturing a single sale. The freshness window isn't calculated in days, it's calculated down to the hour.
Okay, I have to jump in here with a reality check.
Yeah.
If they are turning over inventory 3 times a day, and if there are centralized kitchens acting as a heart, pumping fresh food into the city.
Which there are.
Right, and if the barcode literally rejects expired food, I mean, is this even a store anymore? That sounds more like a giant, hyper-managed neighborhood pantry.
That's a great way to put it.
Like, is this food actually as fresh as cooking at home?
Framing it as a hyper-efficient neighborhood pantry is the most accurate way to look at it. And the answer is yes. For
Yeah.
the specific fresh items we are talking about, it legitimately rivals home cooking in terms of immediacy.
Really, that fresh?
Absolutely. The rice in an onigiri, those triangular rice balls wrapped in seaweed, was likely steamed in a facility just a few miles away that very morning.
That is incredible.
The chicken in a prepackaged salad was cooked and assembled mere hours ago. Now, there are absolutely traps regarding preservatives in some items, which we will unpack shortly. But for the core fresh items, the cold chain is the real deal.
Which brings us to the absolute goldmine of this deep dive. Now that you, the listener, understand the circulatory system that gets the food to the shelves so incredibly fast, we need to talk about what you should actually be reaching for.
The macro conversation.
Exactly. If you are walking 15 to 20,000 steps a day, exploring ancient shrines, carrying bags through Harajuku, or just navigating the labyrinth that is the Tokyo subway system, you need serious fuel.
You absolutely do.
You need protein to repair those muscles.
Yeah.
And in Japan, the undisputed king of the fitness diet, the absolute holy grail of the Konbini is salad chicken.
It is the cornerstone of the Japanese fitness boom. But it's important to clarify what this actually is because the name is a bit of a Japanglish misnomer.
Yes. When you hear salad chicken, your American brain probably pictures a plastic bowl of wilting iceberg lettuce with some sad, dried, diced poultry sprinkled on top.
Which is definitely not what this is.
Not at all. Salad chicken is a vacuum-packed, pre-steamed, whole, intact chicken breast. It is perfectly seasoned, incredibly tender, and you literally just tear open the plastic and eat it right out of the bag.
It sounds so incredibly basic, almost crude, right?
It does sound a little intense.
But it revolutionized the Japanese convenience food market because they solved the fundamental problem of lean protein. Chicken breast is notoriously difficult to mass produce.
Because it dries out.
Exactly. It has virtually no intramuscular fat. When you cook it on a massive scale, it dries out and becomes chalky and unswallowable.
So how did they fix that?
Well, 7&I Holdings, the massive parent company of 7-Eleven Japan, realized this was a barrier. So they teamed up with Prima Meat Packers, a major Japanese food science company, to completely re-engineer the cooking process.
Wait, how do you re-engineer a chicken breast?
They don't just boil it or bake it, they use a proprietary vacuum sealing and low-temperature steam technology. It's essentially commercial-scale sous vide.
Oh, wow. Fancy.
Right. They infuse the marinade deep into the muscle fibers under pressure, seal it, and cook it at precisely controlled low temperatures.
And that keeps it from getting chalky.
Yes. The result is a chicken breast that retains massive amounts of moisture. It's juicy, it flakes perfectly, and it never has that dry, stringy texture.
And the macros are insane.
Yeah.
We pulled the exact clinical nutritional data for our fitness-focused travelers.
Let's hear it.
If you walk into a 7-Eleven, their plain salad chicken comes in at just 114 calories, exactly 0 grams of carbs, and a massive 24+ grams of protein.
It is essentially a pure block of bioavailable protein. And the competitors didn't just sit back either.
They all have their own versions, right?
Oh, yeah. Family Mart introduced a smoked salad chicken. And they don't use liquid smoke flavoring. They literally smoke the chicken breasts over real cherry wood chips in a factory.
Over actual cherry wood in a convenience store product.
Yes. That one delivers 22.3 grams of protein and 0 carbs with an incredible gourmet flavor profile. Lawson also stepped up with a version explicitly targeting bodybuilders.
What's theirs called?
The protein 30.3 gram plain chicken, which, as you can guess, packs over 30 grams of protein in a single serving.
The flavor variations across the stores are wild, too. You aren't just eating plain chicken every day. You can get herb, citrus lemon, garlic pepper, and Cajun.
The Cajun actually packs a surprisingly decent, authentic, spicy kick.
It really does. And if the idea of gnawing on a whole chicken breast on a park bench feels a bit too primal for you, they've adapted the form factor.
You don't have to eat a whole.
Right, you can buy it pressed into a stick form, almost like a savory protein sausage, or even pre-shredded in a pouch so you can just dump it over a bowl of greens without getting your hands dirty.
For a traveler who wants to stay lean, maintain muscle mass, or just stay deeply satiated without spending $40 at a sit-down restaurant for every single meal, salad chicken is the ultimate cheat code.
It really is.
It's incredibly cheap, usually around $2 to $3. It's ubiquitous, and the nutritional profile is flawless.
Okay, so that covers our meat eaters, but we have a lot of plant-based travelers listening? Or maybe you just want to mix up your protein sources so you don't grow feathers by day 7 of your trip.
Very fair.
That brings us to the second pillar of Konbini gains, the tofu bar. And I have to say, this completely blew my mind.
This is a brilliant case study in Japanese food innovation. It really shows how they adapt ancient culinary traditions to modern high-speed lifestyles.
Because traditional tofu is a bit messy.
Yeah.
Right?
Traditional tofu is wonderful. It's healthy. It's a staple of the Japanese diet, but it is structurally fragile. It has to be stored suspended in water.
Right.
It's delicate. You have to plate it carefully on a dish. It is definitively not something you can eat with one hand while sprinting to catch the Shinkansen bullet train.
Right. If you put a block of silken tofu in your backpack, you're going to have a literal disaster on your hands.
Exactly. So a major manufacturer called Asahiko looked at this problem. They looked at traditional tofu and said, we need to make this grab and go. We need to make it act like a protein bar.
But you can't just drain the water and wrap it in plastic, right? It would just turn to mush.
Exactly. Asahiko had to invent a completely new manufacturing process. Traditional tofu is essentially a water balloon of soy milk coagulated with natural salts.
So how did they change it?
To create the tofu bar, Asahiko uses a proprietary high-pressure extraction process. They don't just squeeze the water out. They literally realign and compress the soy protein fibers.
The Japanese word they use in their marketing to describe the texture is Mochi-mugi, right? Which translates to firm, chewy, and dense.
Yes, exactly. Because of that high-pressure fiber realignment, it doesn't feel like eating watery tofu. It has the dense, satisfying mouthfeel of a firm cheese or even a tender piece of chicken.
Which means you actually have to chew it.
Right. It requires you to chew it, which massively increases the psychological feeling of satiety. And nutritionally, this dense little brick packs over 10 grams of purely plant-based protein.
With incredibly low cholesterol and almost zero carbs, too.
And just like the chicken, they went crazy with the gourmet flavor engineering. They didn't just stop at plain soy.
Oh, the flavors are amazing. You can get umami kombu, which uses real kelp extract to give it this deep, oceanic, savory depth.
They have a yuzu kosho flavor, too, which is a traditional Japanese condiment made from fermented citrus peel and chili peppers. It gives the tofu this incredibly bright, spicy, aromatic zing.
What's truly fascinating from a culinary perspective is how Asahiko managed to encapsulate complex, traditional Japanese simmered dishes into a convenience format.
This is my favorite part.
Right. If you go to a traditional ryokan, a Japanese inn, you might be served a delicate side dish of lotus root, soy pulp, and edamame slowly simmered in dashi broth.
And Asahiko created tofu bars with those exact ingredients. Lotus root and edamame, or okara, which is soy pulp and edamame, suspended right inside the bar.
So they aren't just giving you fuel. They're giving you home-style, traditional Japanese flavor profiles in a format you can literally eat while walking down the street.
It is absolute culinary engineering.
It really is. All right, let's move to the third pillar. This one is for the carb lovers who are trying desperately to be good on vacation. We need to talk about Lawson's Bran bread and the entire low carbo movement.
Bran bread. If you follow dietary science or low-carb trends, you know that low-carb baking is notoriously tragic. It's usually like eating cardboard. Exactly. Bread fundamentally relies on gluten and starchy carbohydrates to create that airy, fluffy, satisfying texture we all crave. When you remove the carbs, you usually end up with something that tastes like a dense, depressing sponge.
But Lawson completely disrupted the bakery market, right?
Yeah.
Specifically their health-focused sub-brand, Natural Lawson.
They absolutely did with their bran bread, which they call bran pan. And they didn't just experiment in a corporate test kitchen.
No, they brought in serious medical expertise. They developed this bread in direct collaboration with Dr. Satoru Yamada from the highly respected Kitasato Institute Hospital.
He is essentially the founding father of what they call the Lakabo standard in Japan.
Lakabo is a fascinating nutritional movement. It stands for moderate carbohydrate. It's kind of a pushback against the extreme, strict, zero-carb keto diets that can be incredibly hard to sustain and often lack essential fibers.
Right. Well, Cabo is about managing blood sugar spikes, preventing that post-lunch crash by reducing refined white flours and significantly increasing dietary fiber and protein.
And to achieve this, Dr. Yamada and Lawson formulated a bread base that utilizes the outer husk of the wheat grain, the bran.
The bran is the part that usually gets stripped away when making white flour. By keeping it and making it the star ingredient, they drastically cut the carbohydrate content while skyrocketing the fiber.
Let's look at the numbers, because when I first read this, I genuinely thought it was a typo in the source text.
The macros are wild.
If you buy the standard NL brand bread 2-pack at Lawson, a single roll contains an unbelievably low 2.0 grams of carbs and 6.1 grams of protein.
To put that in perspective, a standard white bread roll of that size would easily have 20 to 25 grams of fast-acting carbohydrates, and maybe like 2 grams of protein.
So if you eat the entire little bag of 2 rolls, you're getting over 12 grams of protein.
The Lawson marketing materials actually highlight that eating this bag of bread is roughly equivalent to the protein intake of eating a 50-gram steak.
That completely breaks my brain for a bread product. Plus, it covers a full third of your daily dietary fiber needs.
And the brilliance of Lawson's execution is that it doesn't taste like punishment.
Which is key.
Bran naturally has a very earthy, sometimes bitter, almost dusty aroma. But through years of relentless reformulation and adjusting the hydration levels of the dough, they've managed to neutralize that bitterness.
So it actually tastes good.
They've created a bread that is genuinely moist, chewy, and slightly sweet. They've even taken this base lo cabo dough and used it to make guilt-free sweet treats.
Wait, like pastries?
Yeah, like a Bran cheese cream and doubleberry pastry. And somehow they keep the net carbs under 6 grams for an actual dessert item.
Okay, hold on. Let's do a quick reality check here.
Let's do it.
I am picturing our listener. She has saved up for a year. She's on vacation. She is walking through Tokyo, one of the undisputed culinary capitals of planet Earth, surrounded by Michelin star sushi and incredible street food.
Best food in the world.
Right. And we are sitting here telling her to eat a vacuum-sealed chicken breast out of a plastic bag, a compressed block of tofu, and wheat husk bread.
Doesn't that sound just a tiny bit dystopian? I can see how it sounds that way.
I mean, is this actually a pleasant dining experience, or are we just treating our bodies like unfeeling machines that need absolute optimal fueling?
That is a completely valid concern. And to answer it, we have to look at the psychology of the Japanese consumer. Because if it tasted like dystopian machine fuel, it would fail instantly in Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
So the taste standard is that high?
Oh, absolutely. You have to understand a cultural concept to reward consumption.
Reward consumption. Okay, walk me through how that applies to a convenience store.
Well, Japanese society is famously high pressure. You have long, grueling corporate work hours, you commute on incredibly crowded trains, and many people live in small apartments with tiny kitchens.
Meaning they don't cook massive meals at home often.
Right. Because of this daily grind, consumers demand that their everyday functional purchases provide a moment of genuine joy. It's a small, affordable luxury.
Ah, I see.
A product won't survive on the Konbini shelf just because it has a great macronutrient profile.
Yeah.
It absolutely must be delicious. It must feel like a reward for getting through a tough day.
Or in our listener's case, a long, exhausting day of sightseeing.
Exactly. So the quality floor is just infinitely higher than what we are used to.
That is fascinating.
The culture simply wouldn't tolerate bad-tasting health food. The salad chicken is juicy and heavily seasoned because it has to be a joy to eat. The tofu bars are engineered with premium ingredients like real yuzu and kelp, so they taste gourmet.
And the bran bread is soft and chewy because eating it has to feel comforting. It's highly functional, yes, but it is explicitly designed to be a treat.
Precisely.
Okay, that makes me feel much better. You aren't sacrificing the culinary joy of your trip just to hit your protein goals.
Definitely not.
However, hearing about this zero-carb, high-protein bread that sits on a brightly lit shelf for 12 hours makes me incredibly suspicious. We've talked about the rapid delivery, but let's be real. If a beautiful bento box with grilled salmon and rice isn't going bad by hour 10, how is that possible? What are they pumping into this stuff to keep it safe? We have to talk about the traps.
And there are definitely traps. As immaculate, fresh, and high quality as the Konbini is, it is still operating on a massive commercial scale.
Right, they still have to make a profit.
To keep complex foods safe for mass distribution without immediate spoilage, they rely heavily on advanced food science. This is where the health-conscious traveler needs to be highly vigilant.
Let's get into the dark side of the aisle. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the sodium bomb and the craving cycle. Because those bento boxes look like pieces of art.
They are gorgeous.
You have perfectly arranged rice, a beautiful piece of grilled fish, vibrant little pickles, maybe some simmered vegetables. They look incredibly fresh, but they are engineered to survive in a slightly chilled, brightly lit environment for 12 to 18 hours.
Right. So what stands between the consumer and catastrophic food poisoning in that environment?
I'm guessing it's not magic.
No, it's salt and acidic preservatives. The physical food is perfectly safe to eat, but the sodium content required to achieve that preservation in some of these prepackaged meals can be astronomically high.
Like how high?
We are talking about hitting half your daily recommended sodium intake in a single small bento box.
Wow. But the research shows it's not just about preservation, is it? It's about behavioral psychology.
Exactly. It's a dual-purpose engineering feat. Japanese processed food manufacturers have spent the last 40 years rigorously studying the human palate to perfect a very specific sweet, salty flavor loop.
The bliss point.
Yes, they formulate sauces and marinades that hit the exact bliss point on your tongue. It's a specific ratio of sodium, sugar, and umami.
It is designed at a molecular level to bypass your brain's natural satiety signals, trigger your dopamine reward centers, and make you crave that exact same intense flavor profile again tomorrow.
It's brilliant but borderline evil food science.
So if you are trying to eat clean and maintain your energy, what is the actionable move here? Do we just avoid the fresh bento boxes entirely?
Not necessarily, but you need to be strategic. You need to know where the trap is hidden. Let's use the Konbini salads as an example.
Okay.
You can buy a beautiful, massive, incredibly crisp vegetable salad with shredded daikon radish, lettuce, and tomatoes for around 350 to 500 yen. The vegetables are pristine. It is a fantastic choice.
But the trap is the little plastic dressing packet taped to the lid.
Yes. The dressing. It's always the dressing.
The dressing is where the massive payload of sodium, hidden liquid sugars, and preservatives lives. The vegetables are innocent.
So, the simple, non-negotiable fix for the traveler. Open the salad and only use half the dressing packet.
Half the dressing.
Japanese dressings are incredibly potent and flavorful. Half a packet will easily coat the greens and give you all the taste, but you immediately sever the sodium and sugar trap in half.
That is the golden rule. Write that down in your travel notes. Now let's talk about the trap that always gets me personally, the healthy disguises.
Oh, the sandwich.
Yes. You walk over to the refrigerated sandwich shelf. You see a beautiful, perfectly square, crustless sandwich. It's got fresh, bright green lettuce, thick slices of tomato, maybe some sliced boiled egg.
It looks so innocent.
It looks light. It looks airy. It looks like the most responsible choice you could make.
But if you flip that little plastic triangle over and read the nutritional label on the back, that light vegetable sandwich might pack 400, 500, or even an astonishing 600 calories.
How is that physically possible? It's just egg, lettuce, and 2 thin pieces of white bread.
It's the mayonnaise. Japanese mayonnaise is fundamentally different from Western mayonnaise.
Like the Kewpie brand.
Exactly. Brands like the famous Kewpie use only egg yolks rather than whole eggs, and they blend it with a unique mix of apple cider and rice vinegars. It is incredibly rich, incredibly delicious, and heavily caloric.
And the Konbini uses it very, very generously in these sandwiches.
Yes, they do.
Why do they put so much in? Is it just for flavor?
It's actually structural engineering. They slather a thick layer of mayonnaise on both interior pieces of bread to act as a hydrophobic moisture barrier.
A moisture barrier.
Right. It physically stops the water from the fresh tomatoes and lettuce from seeping into the bread and making it soggy while it sits on the shelf.
Oh, that makes sense. Keeps the sandwich looking pristine and fresh.
But it turns a light vegetable snack into an absolute calorie bomb. You think you're eating a salad on bread, but you're actually drinking half a cup of flavored egg yolks.
That is devious. Okay, so watch out for the mayo moisture barrier. And speaking of calorie bombs, we have to call out the siren song of the Konbini, the hot food warmer section right next to the cash register.
Ah, yes. The glowing glass case of temptation.
You walk up to pay, and the smell just hits you. You've got the American dogs, which are their version of perfectly golden corn dogs. You've got crispy potato croquettes, and of course, the legendary Family
Mart's incredibly juicy, boneless fried chicken thigh.
Now, let me be clear. Having a hot, greasy famichiki at 2 a.m. after a long night out exploring the bars in Roppongi or Shinjuku is a spiritual, transcendent experience.
It really is a rite of passage.
But it is absolutely, categorically not part of a low-calorie, health-conscious diet. It is deep-fried, heavily processed, and aggressively salted.
It is the definition of a sometimes food. But there is another hidden danger in the bakery aisle that we need to address.
What's that?
While we just spent time praising Lawson's incredible doctor-formulated bran bread, you have to be extremely careful with the standard packaged sweetbreads, melon pans, and pastries from other brands.
Right. Our sources, which included deep dives into food additive regulations and discussions from expats living in Japan, highlighted a really startling fact about commercial baking there.
The additives.
Yes. Some major commercial bread brands, most notably Yamazaki Baking, use a dough conditioner called potassium bromate.
And when you understand what potassium bromate does, you understand why it's a concern. It is a powerful oxidizing agent.
What does it do to the bread?
When added to flour, it strengthens the dough, allowing it to stretch further and rise much higher. It creates bread that is impossibly soft, fluffy, and stays squishy for days on the shelf.
It makes it look like a beautiful edible cloud. But why is it a problem?
Because potassium bromate is a suspected carcinogen. It has been outright banned in many major industrialized nations, including the entire European Union, Canada, Brazil, and several others.
Because of health concerns if it doesn't fully bake out of the bread.
Right. Now, it is still permitted in Japan, and in the U.S. for that matter, under strict usage limits. And Yamazaki claims their baking process eliminates any residual amounts.
But if you are a health-conscious traveler trying to keep your body operating cleanly, it is an additive you likely want to avoid.
Definitely.
So the move is to stick to the specialized healthy bakery lines. Look for Lawson's Natural Lawson logo, which explicitly avoids these heavy, controversial additives, and leave the impossibly fluffy Yamazaki sweetbreads on the shelf.
Exactly. Read the labels, or at least recognize the healthy branding.
Wait, let me interrupt this for a second. Let's ground this in the reality of the listener strip.
Yeah.
She is on vacation. She has paid thousands of dollars for flights and hotels. She is walking 20,000 steps a day, sweating, climbing the steps at the Fushimi Inari Shrine in Kyoto.
She's working hard.
Does a little extra sodium from a bento box or some extra mayo on a sandwich or even a soft piece of bread really matter? Aren't we overthinking this? Can't she just burn it off?
It's a great question, and it's a trap many travelers fall into. But it's not about the calories. It's not about gaining a pound of fat on vacation.
What is it about?
It's about how your body physically feels and functions under stress. Think about the biological reality of this trip. You've just flown 12 to 14 hours. Your circadian rhythm is destroyed. You are mildly dehydrated.
And then you start pounding heavy, salty food.
Right. Think about consecutive days of eating rich, heavy, incredibly salty ramen broths for lunch, followed by those heavily preserved, high-sodium bento boxes for dinner.
That sounds rough on the system.
Your body responds to that massive, sudden influx of sodium by aggressively retaining water.
Oh, the bloat. The dreaded travel bloat.
The bloat is physically debilitating when you are trying to be active. By day 2 or day 3 of your trip, the water retention sets in. Your lower back starts to ache. Your feet and your ankles literally swell up inside your walking shoes.
Causing terrible blisters.
Exactly. Your overall energy levels absolutely plummet because your body is working overtime to process the sodium and the heavy fats from the mayonnaise and fried chicken.
You will wake up on day 4, look at your itinerary that says, hike up Mount Takao. And you won't want to do it because you feel sluggish, heavy, and exhausted.
Which ruins the trip.
That is such a crucial reframe. Managing your sodium and additive intake at the Konbini isn't about strict diet culture or counting every calorie. It is vital, strategic travel survival knowledge to protect your physical energy so you can actually enjoy the trip you paid for.
Precisely. You are fueling an athlete doing a 2-week marathon of sightseeing. You need premium fuel.
Which means we need a game plan. We can't just throw all this science and warnings at you and leave you to fend for yourself in the aisles.
Time for the practical application.
That takes us to the grand finale of this deep dive, the practical guide. We're going to take all this theory, the macros, the supply chain knowledge, and the trap warnings, and we're going to collaboratively build the perfect one-day Konbini health menu.
We are doing the meal prep for you right now.
Let's role play this out to make it concrete. Let's set the scene. You wake up in your hotel room in Shibuya. The sun is coming up. You want to get an early start to beat the massive tourist crowds at the Meiji Shrine.
Sounds like a great morning.
You pop down to the 7-Eleven on the corner of your street. For breakfast, our physiological goal is immediate energy and gut health, keeping the entire meal under 400 calories. What are you grabbing?
Okay, let's see.
I'm exhausted. I just woke up. I'm immediately drawn to the bakery aisle. I want a massive, fluffy melon pan pastry and a sugary canned coffee.
Trap activated immediately. You just spiked your blood sugar, and you will crash hard by 10 a.m. while you're still walking through the shrine gates. Step away from the Yamazaki bread.
Okay, fair point. Let's be smart. I go to the fresh food section. I'm going to look for the rice balls.
Good choice.
Option 1, I grab a half-size onigiri. Specifically, I'm going to look for the filling of grilled salmon or a moom, which is a deeply sour pickled plum.
Excellent choice. Those are incredibly traditional Japanese breakfast flavors. The rice provides clean, complex carbohydrates for the walking you were about to do, and the salmon or pickled plum are very low in fat and incredibly easy on an empty morning stomach.
So what's next?
Well, you need protein.
I head to the dairy cooler. I'm going to grab a plain Greek yogurt. They actually carry familiar Western brands like Oikos, which will give me a fast, highly digestible 10 grams of protein.
Perfect.
I'll pair that with a fresh banana, and yes, Konbini sell pristine, single fresh bananas right near the register, and a massive bottle of unsweetened green tea from the beverage cooler.
Perfect. Clean carbs, high protein, potassium for your muscles, and hydration.
But let's say you are aiming for an ultra-low-carb morning. Maybe you are sensitive to carbs early in the day. Here is option 2. Skip the rice. Go to the refrigerated deli section and look for the packaged hard-boiled eggs.
Those eggs are legendary.
I am obsessed with these eggs. They are a marvel of Japanese convenience. They are already perfectly peeled. They are soft-boiled, so the yolk is still jammy and rich, not that powdery green sulfur you get in American deli eggs.
They are so good.
They are infused with a slight, perfect saltiness. They cost like 100 to 150 yen, and they are nearly additive-free.
They are an absolute staple. So grab a pack of 2 eggs, pair that with a protein milk drink from the dairy aisle.
Like which brand?
Look for the brand Savas. S-A-V-A-S. It is incredibly popular and ubiquitous in Japan. It's essentially a pre-mixed, ultra-filtered whey protein shake that comes in flavors like cocoa or banana and gives you another solid 15 grams of protein.
So with the eggs and the savas, I'm getting nearly 27 grams of protein, virtually 0 carbs, and I'm out the door for under 300 yen. I am fully fueled.
That's a great start to the day.
Okay, fast forward. It's 1 p.m. I've been walking all morning. I've done 10,000 steps. I'm at Yoyogi Park. I am absolutely starving, but I don't want to waste an hour sitting at a crowded tourist restaurant.
You need midday fuel, target, under 500 calories, extremely high protein to repair my legs.
This is where our holy trinity from earlier comes into play to save the day, right?
Exactly. The main event is going to be the salad chicken. Grab a whole breast, try the herb or the smoked flavor for some culinary variety.
What if I don't want chicken?
Alternatively, if you want seafood and omega-3s, go to the chilled deli section and look for the grilled mackerel, known as hock. It's a beautifully cooked, flaky piece of fish in a vacuum pack.
Okay, I've got my protein. I need volume. I'm grabbing a massive fresh vegetable salad. I'm starving, so I'm tearing open the dressing packet and pouring the entire thing all over the lettuce.
Trap activated again. You just undid all your hard work.
Whoops.
You just coated your pristine vegetables in a massive payload of hidden liquid sugar and enough sodium to guarantee your ankles will swell by dinner time.
Damn it. You're right. The golden rule. I stopped myself. I only use half the dressing packet. I get the flavor, but I dodged the sodium bomb.
Exactly. Now, to finish the lunch, you need one more critical component. Head to the dry soup aisle and grab a cup of instant miso soup.
Any specific kind?
Specifically, look for one that contains freeze-dried tofu and wakame seaweed. Take it to the register and use the hot water dispenser they have right there in the store to make it.
Why the soup? It's hot outside.
The hot liquid is physiologically crucial here. First, fermented miso is phenomenal for stabilizing your gut microbiome, which is essential when traveling and eating unfamiliar foods.
Oh, that makes sense.
Second, the warm liquid and the rehydrated seaweed physically expand the stretch receptors in your stomach. It massively increases your feeling of satiety without adding virtually any calories.
It's a trick.
It tricks your brain and your nervous system into feeling like you've just consumed a massive, heavy, hot meal, leaving you completely satisfied.
That is a pro-level travel hack. Soup for volume. All right, let's jump ahead. It's 7 p.m. I have had an amazing day. I saw the scramble crossing, I shopped, I walked another 10,000 steps.
You must be tired.
I am physically exhausted. I am overstimulated. I do not have the energy to go find a restaurant and translate a menu. I just want to go back to my hotel, take my shoes off, put on those little white hotel slippers, and eat in peace in my room.
Dinner time. Goal. Muscle recovery, low carb, under 400 calories. Back to the Konbini.
Oh, what's the plan?
For this specific vibe, head straight to 7-Eleven. Go to the refrigerated meal section. They have a brilliant pre-made bowl explicitly called the protein-packed chicken breast salad.
What's in it?
It's essentially a complete macro-balanced meal in a single bowl. It has a bed of dark greens, a generous portion of steamed chicken, usually half a boiled egg, and sometimes broccoli.
But a cold salad feels a little sad for dinner. I want comfort food.
Then you add the ultimate Konbini comfort side dish, chawanmushi.
Oh, I absolutely love chawanmushi. For those who haven't had it, it's a traditional Japanese savory steamed egg custard.
It is amazing.
It's usually served in a little cup. It has a delicate, silky texture infused with dashi broth, and usually has little pieces of chicken, shrimp, or mushroom hidden inside.
You find it in the chilled deli section, and you absolutely must have the cashier microwave it for you.
Yes. It transforms into this warm, incredibly low-calorie, high-protein cup of pure comfort that is incredibly soothing on a tired stomach.
It is the perfect end-of-day food. And to round out the dinner, grab a small, pre-packaged deli side of edamame, or better yet, hijiki seaweed.
Hijiki. Those are the little, thin, black strands of seaweed, right?
Oh.
Often simmered with tiny carrots and soybeans.
Yes, hijiki is a nutritional powerhouse. It is exceptionally high in dietary fiber and essential trace minerals.
Why is that important at the end of the day?
Well, after a long day of travel, where your normal eating schedule is disrupted and you've been on planes and trains, getting that extra hit of dense, natural fiber is essential. It keeps your digestion moving smoothly and prevents the dreaded travel constipation.
Okay, I am role-playing this entire day in my head, and I have to say, I am feeling lean, mean, and perfectly energized. My macros are flawless.
It's a solid day of eating.
But let's be honest about human nature. It's 10 p.m. I'm in my hotel bed wearing the provided pajamas. I'm watching weird, hypnotic Japanese game shows on the TV, and the sweet craving hits.
And always does.
And it hits hard. What do? I am not eating another piece of chicken breast. I want dessert.
And you should have dessert. The Konbini has phenomenal, healthy late-night alternatives that won't ruin your sleep or your physical state for the next day.
Like what?
Go to the snack aisle and look for a brand of biscuits called Macrobiha.
Macrobiha, what are those?
They are macrobiotic cookies. They are specifically baked with fruit granola, nuts, or dark cacao.
Oh.
They give you a fantastic, satisfying crunch and sweetness, but they are formulated with complex carbs to prevent the massive sugar spike and crash that would disrupt your sleep cycle.
Oh, that sounds great. Or I have to share my absolute personal favorite late-night Konbini hack, the Konyaku jelly pouches.
Those are brilliant.
If you haven't seen these, they're these little tier-top pouches of fruit-flavored jelly. Konyaku, or konjac, is made from the root of a yam-like plant.
It is a fascinating ingredient. It has virtually zero digestible calories, but it is packed with a specific type of soluble fiber called glucomannan.
Glucomannan, what does that do?
When glucomannan enters your digestive tract, it absorbs water and expands slightly, forming a soothing gel. It physically fills you up and slows down digestion.
That's so interesting.
It is sweet, it is incredibly chewy, almost like a dense gummy bear, and it completely, utterly satisfies that late-night candy craving with absolute zero guilt.
Yes. You can eat 3 pouches of the peach or grape flavor, and it's like 20 calories total. And of course, if you want whole foods, you can always grab a cup of incredibly fresh, pre-cut pineapple or kiwi from the fridge section.
The fruit in Japan is legendary for its sweetness.
The overarching key here is that the infrastructure provides you with options. You don't have to default to a massive pint of premium ice cream or a heavy oil-laden pastry just because it's late and you're tired.
The healthy choice is just as convenient as the junk.
So to pull all of this together and summarize the ultimate takeaway of this massive deep dive, you do not have to sacrifice your health, you do not have to abandon your macros, and you absolutely do not have to sacrifice your taste buds while traveling in Japan.
Not at all.
By understanding the logistics and navigating the Konbini smartly, you can eat like a local, save a massive amount of money on food, and actually feel physically energized enough to enjoy every single day of your trip.
Remember the core rules for your survival guide. Seek out the salad chicken and marvel at the vacuum steam technology. Find the Mochi-mugi Tofu Bars for plant protein.
Embrace the low-carb science of Lawson's Bran bread.
Protect yourself from the sodium bomb by strictly using half the salad dressing packet and walk right past the hot fryer case and the impossibly fluffy Yamazaki breads.
It's all about working smarter, not harder, and letting the Japanese retail infrastructure do the heavy lifting for you.
Exactly.
But before we officially wrap up, I want to leave you with one final, fascinating, almost philosophical glimpse into the future.
This is a really interesting point.
Everything we've talked about today, the cold chain, the AI, the perfect macros, has been framed around how the Konbini serves us, the young, active, health-conscious travelers.
Right.
But Japan is facing a massive demographic shift. Their population is aging more rapidly than almost any other nation on Earth. And because of that, these incredible convenience stores are evolving into something far beyond just retail food.
It is a profound shift. Because they are so deeply embedded in the neighborhoods, because of that 4.91 density we talked about, they are increasingly becoming the absolute pillars of community infrastructure for the elderly.
Imagine a future, which is actually starting to happen right now, where the convenience store acts as the primary distribution point for disaster relief during earthquakes or typhoons.
Wow.
Imagine it acting as a decentralized hub for basic medical supplies and prescription pickups. Imagine the centralized kitchens shifting their AI focus from predicting what a tourist wants to providing a daily lifeline of specialized, easily digestible, highly nutrient-dense meals, specifically engineered for elderly residents who can no longer travel to large grocery stores.
The infrastructure they built to sell fresh chicken and rice balls is perfectly positioned to become a decentralized healthcare and social support network.
It really makes you ponder, what does the future of convenience truly look like?
When a brightly lit store on the corner transcends retail and becomes the very thing holding an aging community together.
It's an amazing thought. So the next time you hear the words convenience store, I don't want you to picture the sad neon-lit gas station with the spinning shriveled hot dogs. I want you to picture a brilliantly lit, hyper-efficient, AI-driven hub of fresh food, absolute culinary innovation, and vital community care.
Stay curious, eat well, and travel safely.